get the materials out before we forget. That's the rollers. Epoxy. That's heavy.
You can't get any bolts through it there, so we need another stainless plate on top of here to come right back to here. Like we had that right back there, didn't we?
Is that the mark?
Back here, but
So going to give a bit of an update about the channel. I saw the other day that I hadn't posted for about 11 months. A lot has been happening over that time, not just with the boat, in personal areas as well. For a start, I'm committed to this project, and what I'm doing is not for everyone. I don't, at the moment, have a wife and kids. I don't have a mortgage. What I do have is a family member that I care for. I share caregiving duties. And just recently I lost my job as far as full-time work. I was made redundant after near 24 years. So this all adds to the mix of maybe why I am not as far along in my project as I'd like to be. But nevertheless, when you're committed like I am to wanting this boat to get properly rebuilt, to see the water again, and to ultimately be my liveaboard sailing home, then you do what you need to do. I think it was the famous round the world sailor Bernard Moitessier that said, when asked how much does cruising cost, and he famously said, as much as you have or as little as you have. Pretty apt, I would say. Where are we at with the boat? I'll give a quick video tour update now and to see where things have come along this past year. As I say, progress has been slow, but progress has been made. Let's have a look. Right, so we'll start at the bow. I'm going to use a Mantus anchor. It's a M1 there on the ground, brand new. It's 15 kilograms. And also making use of their B2 anchor roller and also their anchor guard there. Now, in order to safely clear the bow, to build a bit of a bowsprit there, and where we've got it at the moment is probably what the length is going to be. So that'll be all glassed and bolted in to make it as strong as an ox, minimise that cantilever action that you get when you do have a bowsprit. So the whole sides itself, haven't done really anything to those at the moment. That's something we can do right at the end when I'm ready to paint the boat. But the decks have been completely stripped back, faired, as has the cabin top. This is the mast partners for the junk rig mast. We'll be putting a hatch here. This is the cutout from the original hatch, which was a fibreglass job. I'll be putting a hatch in a similar position, but probably a bit smaller in diameter overall. She filled in the old window cutouts. Lots of fairing filler used and will be used, I can assure you. So grounded it all back on the cabin top, and we're going to put some layers over the top there, and we're going to use a bit of a sandwich construction using that yellow stuff there, whose name I can't quite remember now, that product, but I'll look it up when I post the video and advise what that product name is. And then we come further back. The cockpit has all been completely rebuilt, all new plywood. It's all yet to be glassed in, of course, but it will be. And eventually here will be a Ming Ming style hatch. This is the lazarette. This is going to be turned into a petrol storage locker because I've done away with the diesel inboard. We're going to build a completely watertight locker here. It won't be able to leak into the boat at all, and I have plans for 3 12-litre petrol tanks there. Pretty similar setup to what I had on my previous boat. The boat's going to be powered by a 6 horsepower outboard motor, a Tohatsu Sail Pro. Now I know a lot of people just can't fathom that, don't understand why you wouldn't have an inboard diesel. It's probably a bit like religion. You're either a diesel inboard person, which, you know, I would say 98% of sailors are, and there's the small minority like me who prefer to have an outboard propulsion, and that does limit the size of boat that you really want to use an outboard, but that also suits me fine because 30 feet is tops for me. And actually this twister is 28 feet overall, which is just my size. And you can see the rudder here. The rudder will need that'll need a good clean up. The bushels and the pintles of the rudder are going to need redoing as well. Okay, let's go down below and we can have a look and see the progress here. So we've got these companionway steps, and underneath this one here where my foot is, there's going to be storage. Right, go down below now, and actually have built also aft storage lockers as well. Port and starboard. And this twister, this is an all glass twister, and it was built with stringers, which is, it's a bit of foam fibreglassed in, and there's, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The idea, I guess, was to provide extra rigidity to the hull. Interestingly, not all glass twisters have these stringers, and some have less stringers, so there seems to have been various types of twisters out there. When they were built, you could specify what you wanted in the way of stringers. These are strange looking things are the deck drains. However, I'm not going to have drains on deck. So these cabin sides have been completely altered, completely stripped back. Now we've got plywood in there. We'll glass all that in eventually. Bulkhead in as well. If I come back a bit further, it might give a better overall view of that. That's not yet fully glassed in yet, but we've started the tabbing and the filleting, of course, and that's actually going to give me probably 500 millimeters larger cabin than the original cabin was, as far as fore and aft. So that was a little bonus. And as we go forward, this is where a lot of the work has been done in recent months. This is the area that's going to take the load of the junk rig mast. You can see all the glassing, bogging and fairing that's gone on in here, and how we've faired out the gaps between the stringers. So we've got a ring frame in there that attaches to the mast partners. You can see the mast partner has been glassed into the front of the cabin. So if I go over there, it's the mast partner as I showed you before when I was out on deck. In this area we're going to put a wet locker, toilet, and this will be storage as well in this area here. The anchor locker is going to be built in this area here, and right up forward there we're going to have a hatch, and anything that's right at the forepeak will just be really light stuff. So no, I'm not going to put my chain right up there. Chain is definitely going to go in this area in a yet to be built chain locker. And here's the deck head. This has all been stripped back too, so that's just another part of the boat that we took back to bare bones as well. I should mention that the cabin sole has been completely rebuilt. I took out the integral water tank. I just don't like the idea of a water tank integral below the cabin sole. So I took that completely out, and we've got some bilge space there to store various items, some water jugs. I like to have my water in smaller containers that I'm able to easily access and fill up and change and check the quality of the water. Once you fill up a integral bilge water tank, you're really stuck with that water. If it gets contaminated, then you're stuffed basically. You've got to replace the water. So there's an aft view of the companionway steps, all completely rebuilt. And I did mention that we'd rebuilt the cockpit, but we also raised the cockpit sole probably a good 6 inches as well, up from where it was. This has been the update I wanted to put together for a while now. Hope to bring you along for the journey of the rebuild as we keep going. I don't have a definitive date when I'd like to have it finished. I think if you set yourself, I'm going to have it finished in a year, 2 years, whatever definitive date, then you can get yourself into trouble. For me, the boat will be ready when it's ready, finished when it's finished. Look forward to bringing you along on the journey. Cheers.